What's up, everyone? Thank you for clicking on my YouTube channel, the CeeLo's Film Club. Today we're going to be talking about reviewing the movie that everyone's talking about, that has Hollywood talking about it, your moms, your brothers, your cousins, your granddaughters, everyone talking about this film, and that is The Obsession, the new horror film that's taking Hollywood by storm by a YouTube creator named Curry Barker. And this movie has been so profitable. A lot of people have been going to go see it. Everyone's talking about it. And my first reactions to this film, guys, this movie is awesome. It's everything you want it to be. Jump scares, a little bit of everything, guys. We're living in an era where, a lot of YouTube content creators are creating really good horror films. We just had Markiplier did the, Iron Lung film. We also had, Kane Parsons just do the Backrooms film too as well, which I'll be talking about after this video. Wait on that video so you guys can click on it. You guys can see my reviews on Backrooms. And we also had the Philippou brothers that did Talk to Me, Bring Her Back, which I absolutely love that film. Love those two films. And I do think that, this is a new wave of directors, new blood that coming into Hollywood and are bringing, some heat with their films, guys. But my first reactions to this, like I said, it is a great film. It does have a little bit of flaws. Is it a masterpiece like our people are calling it? I don't think so, but overall, I do think the film is great. But before we get started diving deep into our movie review, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. Turn on your notifications so you guys do not miss a beat on any of the movie news. All right, guys, Obsession. It is directed by Curry Barker, which follows Barry, a man who uses a supernatural novelty called a One-Wish Willow to make his longtime crush, Nikki, love him more than anyone in the world. His wish succeeds, but it triggers the horrifying bloody consequences of Nikki's intense, uncontrollable obsession that spirals out of control. Guys, the premise of the movie, when you're looking on paper, very simple, right? You make a wish, of something that you want, or you want someone to be obsessed with you about. And of course, not all wishes don't come with a bad consequence. And that's what this movie is about. It's also a little bit of a cautionary tale just in general. Be careful what you wish for. So pretty much, we have, Baron, what she calls him Bear, is hitting off with this girl a little bit that she works with at a video store. Now we have the character of Bear that likes his girl, Nikki. And in the beginning of the film, you can tell that they kind of have somewhat of a connection. We kind of don't really know if Nikki's really all into him or not. We find a little bit later, because there's gonna be a non-spoiler review if she really did or he didn't. I'll leave that for a spoiler review, because this is gonna be a non-spoiler review. But in the beginning, you had this thing with Nikki and Bear. We also have another character of Sarah that works in the same job, and they're in the part of the same friend group that has a thing for Bear. But Bear, is going to give Nikki a necklace just because he wants to do something nice for her, because she lost his crystal necklace. He goes to this, kind of like a crystal, I don't want to call it witchcraft store, because they don't really exist like that, especially where they're at, store. And he doesn't get a necklace. He ends up finding this thing called the One-Wish Willow, where you can make a wish, and and that wish allegedly comes through. Of course, he just buys it. $6.99, $7 to buy this wish. He goes, "Oh, I'm just gonna buy it." Of course, he thinks it's a scam. Just like if you're going to a store and you're buying something like that you can make a wish, and you automatically think it's a scam. He creates this. He asks for this girl to love him more than anything in the world, and this girl becomes super obsessed with him. And that's the premise of the movie. You're talking about this girl that had somewhat an interest with had some of an interest with Bear, but we're not 100% sure. She becomes super obsessed with them. Very scary. I would say that the girl that plays Nikki, her name is Indy Navarrete. She is awesome. She is very terrifying. We have a lot of scenes with her, in the darkness in the corner, just staring at him while he sleeps. Very creepy. The way she moves when she is in that state of like her being super obsessive, very creepy too as well. There's a scene where she walks backwards where it's very terrifying. And I do think they know that pretty good. The creepiness of the film is there the entire time, because you don't know when this girl's gonna be okay, or she's gonna have a psychotic breakdown. It's pretty much kind of giving you like a toxic relationship, because he does have, I'm not going to get into spoilers, he does have a choice of and part of the movie of, of kind of ending, this cycle of her being obsessed with him. It's this a little extreme how he's gonna, how he's gonna end this cycle, how the option is given to him, but he does have the option and he contemplates it because at the end of the day, he is with this girl that has been very obsessed with him since day one, and he cannot, he does not want to, change that. It's very gory in certain scenes. It is very terrifying too as well. The jump scares. There's one specific jump scare when they're in their car, which had me jumping like crazy in the movie theater, and I thought they did that great. The cinematography, not just the lighting, the camera movement is pretty good too as well. I think overall the supporting characters are pretty good. There's a character named Ian, which is played by Cooper Tomlinson, which I heard that he is part of of friends of Curry Barker, the guy that did this film, the director, which we'll talk about a little bit of the director towards the end. And he does pretty good in this film. Not crazy amount of supporting characters. There's a lot of times that you just spend with the, with this couple of, of Nikki and Bear. I do think that overall the film did what it was supposed to. It made you feel very scared, very terrified, very eerie. It kept you hooked the entire time. Do I want to call this film a masterpiece? A lot of people are calling this film a masterpiece, the scariest movie in the last 10 years. It's a good scary movie. It's really good. It did what it was supposed to. Curry Barker did such a great job with this film, making you feel like, you are scared. You don't know what's gonna happen. Keeps you on the edge of your seat the entire time. A lot of people that I was watching it with had their shirts right underneath their eyes, sort of not all the way covering their eyes, and that's what the film is supposed to do. When I was in the movie theater, I watched it this past yesterday actually, and the movie theater was packed. If you guys don't know, Obsession has profited a lot of money. I think it was originally supposed to be only in the movie theater for a week, and it started, gaining so much momentum. People were watching it word of mouth, and it's already profited a lot of money. This movie has been the most profitable movie in the Hollywood history. It was directed, of course, by Curry Barker. It was produced and shoestring budget of a $750,000 to $1 million budget. I think it was $750, and then the remainder of the money was for marketing, and it's already grossed over $148 million globally. And that is crazy. That is a crazy investment. Whoever invested in this film has made a lot of money. Curry Barker, we'll talk about him more towards the end, but this is a testament of, you don't need a lot of, marketing for a movie. I mean, you do need some marketing for a movie, but if the movie is good, the word of mouth, especially for the horror genre, a lot of people like to go see horror movies, especially if it's good with a significant other, has people talking, and people will go see it in theaters. It was only, like I said, it was only supposed to be in theaters for a week, and more people started to see it. When we booked our tickets to go see it, there was only a few seats left, and that was like 4 hours before the actual showtime. There are some negatives I do have of the film. I do think that when he does the wish, the girl right away turns into a completely different person, and it's something that they kind of leave behind of the actual backstory of the actual of the wish object itself, if it's witchcraft, if it's a possession kind of thing, because there's another character in here that wishes, that has a wish with the actual the wish willow, and nothing really possession happens. Or at least they don't explain. Maybe they'll leave that open to interpretation to a sequel. I wish they didn't rush it too much, where he creates the wish and right away she becomes like a completely different person. I didn't really like that. Also, her voice kind of changed too when she is obsessed, when the wish becomes granted. Very squeaky voice, kind of like a little child begging for attention, and that's really what the movie is about. There's a lot of cool scenes though that kind of make up for everything. The story, the pacing is great. I did not like that part of it. I'll be honest, it kind of threw me off every time she would talk with a little bit of the squeaky voice, but the girl overall does such a great job. Even the actor that plays Bear, Michael Johnson, he does such a great job too as well. I do think that the chemistry between them was a little off, but I think that's the whole point, because I don't think they were really or made to end up together, or they really have a chemistry. That's why he does this, this Wish Willow. But I do think that in the beginning, he does have a chance with her. There's open doors that she kind of leaves up to interpretation to him to kind of to walk through. There's something where she asks him, "Hey, do you have a thing for me?" And he doesn't say nothing. Like, he just doesn't say anything, and it's almost like, dude, that's your chance right there. Like, I don't think he necessarily had to do this, this wish to be with this girl. I don't know. A lot of people are 50-50 on it. The people that I was talking to with after the movies that came with me to see the movie, a lot of people think that, Bear was never going to have a chance with her. Some people are saying, I think he would have had a chance if he at least kind of tried. And I think that's one part of the movie that I really like. I do think that it wasn't always necessary. It wasn't really necessary to do the wish, but once the wish kicks in, man, this girl is crazy. The things that she does that she's super obsessed with him, watching him sleep. I don't want to give spoilers away because they don't show a lot of stuff in the trailer, but just the movements of her, there's a lot of things that she does that is very obsessive. When he gets a text while he's sleeping, you're like, oh my God, hopefully she didn't hear his phone ring. You just feel bad for this guy. You ever have a friend or know someone that's in a very toxic relationship? Intensify that times 1,000. Like, I'm literally not kidding. There is a scene that there's actually in the trailers where he tells her that he's gonna have a boys' night out, and the way she reacts while she's in the bathroom, she goes, "Oh, I'm gonna get ready because I'm gonna go with you." You're like, "Oh my God, you started feel for this guy," and they do that. Everything great. It's kind of like a toxic relationship. The ending of it, I thought was pretty good. Very poetic too as well. And overall, I do think that, Curry Barker did a phenomenal job. Curry Barker is a content creator. I actually had to look him up a little bit more, but he was born September 22, 1999. He is, I believe, 26 years old, and he is an American filmmaker. He's best known for his sketch comedy on YouTube. That's a Bad Idea. He co-created with Cooper Thomason, the guy that is in this movie that plays Ian. And they also directed a small horror film called Milk and Cereal, which I'm actually gonna check that out of his. And he made this movie. He wrote this movie, created it, shot it with a small budget, and got it made, and they made a lot of money off of it. And this is just kind of a word of mouth kind of movie, but it's also like a Gen Z kind of a crowd that a lot of people are going to. There's a lot of younger, people that watch this movie. Same thing with Backrooms movie, which I did, a review for it, and I'm gonna put this out after this video, so you guys should definitely check that out. A lot of the younger crowd are going to go see this movie, which I do like, because I do like that it's not just an over 35 years old. People that are over 35 are going to go see movies only. This is a little bit of a younger crowd too as well, mixing it up a little bit. A lot of younger generation Gen Z's are more about TikTok, things that are very short, short attention span, Instagram, social media, shorts, and whatnot. A lot of people are not even watching longer YouTube videos, which suck. But this is a good way to get a younger audience that are eventually going to be older like us, going to go watch films in theaters. And I do think that is very beautiful. I know a lot of people have been complaining that a lot of younger people have been going and don't have any movie etiquette. I did not see this in the two movies that I went to go see, Backrooms and this film, Obsession. But overall, I do think that this is really good for movies, especially something that's like not very big and grand scale, like a superhero movie or a sci-fi science fiction film. I do think that this is very good. This year we have been eating very good with horror films. Backrooms, this movie. A lot of people saw Send Help, which they really like, which is Sammy Raimi movie. I have not watched that yet. But overall, I do think that this is great for films in general. Curry Barker is popping off right now. He is a younger hot director. He's actually got the keys to do the new Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie that is being produced by A24, and it's going to be something different than what A24 is already doing. A24 is doing a Texas Chainsaw series that's produced by Glenn Powell because he's from Texas. There's going to be something completely different, and they're giving him the keys to that. Right now, he is working on a movie with Aaron Paul. The movie is called Anything But Ghosts, and Aaron Paul, if you guys don't know who Aaron Paul is, Aaron Paul, let's see. I'm just going to pull him up just so you guys have a picture of him. Aaron Paul, he is the guy from Breaking Bad. Very well-known actor. He's very famous, and he has nothing but great things to say about Curry Barker, which is pretty awesome. Someone older stressing someone younger. Same thing with the Backrooms movie. A lot of YouTube content creators are, making films, really good films. Mark Plyer, the Philippou brothers, all them guys have been doing, Kane Parsons have been doing really good horror films, and I think it's just a testament of new young blood. A lot of people are saying, well, these content creators are just doing short films. No, or like a short attention span content. Yes and no. You got to think about directors back in the day, even like 20 years ago. Let's say someone like Tarantino, Nolan, even like Denis Villeneuve. They use old school cameras, just shot things randomly, action figures, went around their neighborhoods, put on fake capes, did action scenes. These kids nowadays, or younger people nowadays, are using social media to do that. There's nothing more different than that, than what they're doing now, than what directors were doing back in the day. There's not a lot of old cameras running around now for people to use. Even then, I mean, this is just practice editing, posting, lighting. Even if it's something short, you have to get someone's attention. And I do think that these new young directors are coming up and are going to be taking over Hollywood eventually, because people are going to start to get older. New directors are going to start to come in, and I do think this is pretty cool. I do want to see a YouTube content creator do something other than horror. Do love the horror stuff that's coming out, but I want to see if they do something different. I don't know, maybe drama, psychological, just straight up thriller. I don't know. But yeah, guys, that was my review for Obsession. I do think that this horror film is great overall. Jump scares were great. It was very eerie, which was very great. The score, I forgot to say about the score, was phenomenal too as well. And it was very gruesome, but not over the top like certain films like Evil Dead, that get crazy over the top with just gruesome. Do think that this was perfect. There's a scene in a car, which I'm not going to get into spoilers, which I thought was great. But yeah, guys, that's my overall review for Obsessions. The Backrooms movie is next I'm going to be reviewing. But thank you for clicking on my YouTube channel, guys. If you guys like content like this, don't forget to like and subscribe button. But thank you, guys. Thank you. I appreciate it. Have a good one. Take care.